Awesome. Right. Well, this is the pleasure. I've been waiting to talk to somebody that is at Litem. So I am excited to talk to you. I'm going to mess up your name again, but let's see. Sh- uh, uh,
Shalanda
Shalanda Ajibola.
Ajibola, yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. And you've been attorney for what, 10 years now?
Going on 15. I think this should be
Oh,
15.
15. Yeah. Yeah. You actually went to college close to where I did. I was in the military, so I went to Park University.
Park University.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
I know
So, but
that's
it was that night school in the Marine Corps, so we
right.
went to little elementary schools and wherever they could have class. So
Right.
that's cool.
Okay.
So you've been an attorney for 15 years. I saw that you do you're getting involved with some developments, or at least being the attorney on the contracts, I guess.
So recently got married, probably going on my third year, getting married, and my husband is he was interested in development. It kind of is a long story. I'll try to speed it up.
Okay.
We try to do it here, but just getting in the game and doing flipping is like you almost need. Even when we talk to banks, they're almost like this needs to be like at least $1 million deal before we'll even. You know what I'm saying? There was like a threshold was so high, but my husband's from Nigeria, so we're able to build over there, and it's you pay as you go. So you buy a lot
Wow.
and build, you do the foundation and just, yeah, and you don't even have to take out, they don't do as much credit and lending as we do here. So
Yeah. It's
pretty
kind of
good.
in Saudi Arabia too, or that area where you're not allowed to make interest on your loan payments.
Oh, okay.
Uh, But I think there was a different way, like you borrow money from a family
Oh,
instead
okay.
of like a bank. So you're still tied to like
To some type
paying
of.
somebody for the, yeah, some type of an agreement. But anyways, let's see here. Let me go over your credentials a little bit. Let's see what I can come up with here. You did start a podcast at one point. So do you still
Yeah.
run that?
It's still on there. And what's funny is, like I did a whole thing on estate planning. I get like one or two views, but then I got like chickens and people watched my chicken video. So
Yeah.
it's just like, you know what? Whatever people want to be entertained with.
I gave up on being the niche on YouTube
Yeah.
and Facebook. I used to like only post real estate, and then I started posting my kid, and
That's
now he's into bug hunting. So I I, I was thinking I was going to post some things about him bug hunting. It's just weird how it just captures people. Just want to know who you are and who they're dealing with, I think.
right. Well, and then they wanted my husband say people want to de-stress. They want something that you can either smile or laugh. So I'm like, okay.
How did you? My thought was that you were not you, but I thought ad litems were more like a rookie attorney, maybe somebody that was trying to build their business, but you're actually doing that. You're appointed from the courts, right?
Right. So it's one of those things.
So kind of, yeah.
Let me liken it to imagine if I was doing criminal law and I'm basically getting on the court's roll. And so, as a defense attorney, if you get on the court's roll, they give you appointments. And so that's made, and then you get paid by the court. So that's mainly that it's just kind of here's like at least a sure way. Even though it takes long, it takes a long time to get it. Where it's almost like, is it even worth? It's one of those money where it's like delayed money is almost like, is it money?
Yeah,
But
is
it's
it
one of
money?
those things where you get a court appointed. Then if you get on multiple judges, courts, and then you get appointments. So this one court, she's been giving me a couple of them. So it's just a way. And then not only that, it's also I think experience, but
Hmm.
I think it kind of can veer off into some other things that you other aspects that I don't know. I feel like each case or the more things that I'm exposed to, that might kind of opens up some other avenues of like, okay, I didn't even see this angle, and this might be another possibility of something else. So.
I think you're right there. I think as long as you get, it's like in real estate, a lot of realtors have it backwards where they'll go to a real estate school, but then they want to jump in to be an agent right away, and they
Okay.
may sell three houses and they're not everybody, but typically they say agents sell less than six houses a year for the first 5 years.
Okay.
But if they did something like you, not necessarily appointed, but in our business, we joined a team so that we could service
Yes.
more clients and build up that client base.
Right.
Because if you could get in front of more people and help them and be successful, you're gonna there more people are gonna know about you,
Right.
and then they're gonna refer you. So I would imagine, especially if you're, I mean, you're like I hate to say the word cog in the wheel, basically, because there's a lot of deals that I've done waiting on the ad litem to either
Really?
not find anybody or
Okay.
find somebody.
Okay.
And I got a good story. I'll try to remember to tell you.
Yeah.
So we just had to find somebody. So it was good. I helped out. I
Okay.
met someone randomly in Tarrant County, and
Uh-huh.
I never heard the term ad litem.
Really?
Um,
Okay. So this is new.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Up until about a year ago, I thought I didn't really contact attorneys either because I was scared. I was like, I don't want to mess with the legal people. Maybe they'll sue me for calling them or something. I don't know. So I send a lot of letters and I call the PRs trying to get their business
Yeah.
when they're ready.
Okay.
But um, yeah, so I ran into a lady in Tarrant County. I went down to the courthouse to check it out to
Okay.
go to like a meeting,
Okay.
and she asked me for help because she's like, some reason we got into conversation like I used to be a police officer and I could
Yeah.
just I, I I just know I know how to find people, but some people are like you probably found out just don't want to be found.
Right.
So
Right. And that's the well, and that's funny. Actually, before I went to law school, I started out. Let me give you my little journey. I started as a file clerk at Jackson County Family Court. This back in. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Moved to Texas in 2016. But started out Jackson County Family Court, and that was delinquency team. So that was kind of my criminal justice, and I did my paralegal program, but then I went to the U.S. Attorney's office and working there. So working for the
wow,
attorneys there. So that was kind of my journey. And then I left there and went to law school. And it's kind of a long story, but yeah, but moved here in 2016. So it's and I've worked in government. I feel like I work for almost every agency. I worked for the feds, the state, the county. Of course, I wanted to work for the city, but that didn't happen. But no, that aspect. So I have. I'm accustomed to even working with the U.S. Attorney's Office. The agents we had are ATF agents, also some FBI. So I'm used to law enforcement and
that's
things
cool.
of finding people. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting.
Do you have your own systems, or do you have something the court provides you?
No, and what I've been using is Family Search.org, which is almost like I don't know if there's a free version, but I think it gets information from
Nice. Okay.
Ancestry.com. But I'll even back up a little bit. When I first moved here, I worked for a company, CSI Global Solutions, and they were doing subpoena. Have you heard of them? We were doing subpoena.
No, but it sounds intense.
They had some business where they did what is it, like the electronic, when it comes to trials, they were doing the, I guess, all the technical stuff. It was like some specialized agent for like super trial. They even host people, let them come in and try out their their presentation to a mock jury. It was serious. But there was another part of the house that did subpoenas. What it was, they were developing, they were growing. They had only serviced, I think, Florida and Texas, and but then they got some client. It was like a hospital. I forgot what the hospital was, who basically had offices all over. So we needed to be able to subpoena all the different states, and so that was part of our job, was drafting subpoenas. But they had to be
Hmm.
served, and so we had to find some process servers.
Yeah,
We had to end up looking for some ones found, and so that was really interesting to get in contact with those guys, and then the different ones where they had to go and don't have the right address, and having to figure out, okay, where's the new address, where are these people. And I've had to use a process server. Actually, what I've used is proof serve. It's almost like you just
proof serve.
yeah, it's a nationwide. It's almost like an Uber for process serving. So
Okay.
it's an online database. You upload your documents you want served. You put in the address, put in what's it about, and then I guess their platform there'll be like a project manager or whoever it is, management will reach out to one of their servers, connect them, and you can see it all in the
Mm,
dashboard. And like, okay, so and so's picked up your project or your whatever your what needs to be served, and then you can see them either they've served or they're looking for the address or like I said, bad address. I think they charge like
wow.
$90
You
per
didn't, it's
per
things you
address.
don't realize that happen behind the in the background of all this.
Well, it's so much simpler because I was trying to find somebody and I was like, oh, this is too much. But to be able to just because the thing about it, if you use the county, you have to send the stuff in the mail. You have to write a check. I remember I did all that and they was like it's the wrong address and but they wouldn't go try another address. Like I almost I
Mm,
had to do it all over. I was like this is not
frustrating.
yes.
Yeah. So, how'd you get into being on the court record for ad litem? Do you carry a lot of cases now, or?
Um Well, most recently, so let me back up. I got on initially. Let's see. When I moved here, I had to get licensed. So that's the thing about being an attorney. You can't you get licensed in the state, but even if you move, you got to get licensed in that state as well. And but because I didn't have enough years, I had to basically take the Texas bar.
Wow,
Anyway, so yeah, it was almost like after I'd
twice.
been, I think, out of law school, probably what, almost 6 or 7 years. I'm like, are you kidding me? I haven't been in a law school class and I gotta take another. So yeah, that was a bit traumatic.
I'm
But
trying to get licensed in Arkansas, so I'm going through the same thing.
oh wow, yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, why can't I just pay a fee and get licensed everywhere? Um, so while I was waiting to get licensed, I signed up with Dallas DVAP, is Dallas Volunteer Attorney Program. It's basically a collaboration between legal
That's
aid
cool.
and the Dallas Bar Association. Yes, and so they take volunteer attorneys, and so they have these clinics. You're in Tarrant County.
Yeah,
Did you? Okay, so this on the
but we
Dallas.
do business all over.
Okay, but there should be
I actually
some
just sold one out in Grayson County for real
Grayson.
estate. Yeah.
Okay. But they should have some legal aid, and DVAP should be over in Tarrant County as well. But anyway, so I would take some cases, and so some of those cases, I think one was a will, and one of them ended up being I had to do a lady needed a will to be done as monument of title. It's kind of a funny word. So those were kind of my experiences with that, and so just as newly getting licensed in Texas, and just kind of looking at the landscape because I don't know if you pay attention. I mean, well, I guess this is not your initial thing, but what's kind of money makers around here is personal injury. So, and I'm like,
Yeah.
personal injury. I'm like, so, so I'm like, let me, what else is out there? What can we do? What would be at least a guaranteed check? I guess we can at least trust that the government, at least it has
I too.
historically, will pay their bills.
Yeah.
So I mean, but technically, if I come back, the payment that the ad litem receives is what the initial applicant has paid into the court. They call it the court's, I think, like repository or something like that.
Okay.
So it would be like paying a bond. So whoever is initially filing that action, like for example, basically determination of heirship. Someone dies without leaving a will, intestate, and then say there's something coming up. So they're like, okay, well we have to ask the court to determine heirship, and so you had to put on deposit, or would you be considered that bond? At least it used to be 500. Now it's about $600, and that's the payment that the ad litem is going to receive.
Once
So
you complete finding whoever you need to.
right, but the thing is, sometimes it's like you were talking about earlier, is depending on because you're literally waiting on completion because the applicant hired their attorney and they're doing all their process and they get the hearing but there can be a long time in between the hearing like
Yeah.
even I have cases where I've already done my report but then we're waiting on the hearing and sometimes I'm in this Facebook group where people talk about different things, other attorneys talk about different things and they say sometimes it's just maybe the attorney didn't get a large enough retainer and maybe they're having to chase the person down for the rest of the money and so It's just a lot of things come up. I don't know, but there is a delay, so it's one of those
It
things.
seems like when you get into the deal, same with selling a house, you don't know the whole story until you. Sometimes when you start selling a house, and you're like, "Oh, I wish I wouldn't have took that client." Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, like, and that's the thing. When basically getting to the closing table, it's about because that's what you're the line item on that. Uh, what is that? The settlement.
yeah. The settlement statement, yeah, the HUD or the
Right.
CD now they call it. So you
Right.
have to wait to get paid until the end of the when the
Yes.
probate is confirmed.
So
Wow.
yeah, the attorney does initial filing, they do everything. Then we have a hearing, and then so that's part of it. I do my report, but then at the hearing, I basically testify and just kind of testifying on what some basic things that I've done. I've located so and so and so and so. We identified these are the errors. This is the interest that they have in the estate, and then that's part of it. The judge will determine, or you can also state, oh, and yes, I will at least want the either the minimum 600, or if you want to go extra and say because I have to do the only thing is you have to file something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's one
Or
of the
paid
things.
that $90.
Well, I guess it depends on if it's worth. If you really did put in some time, the thing is you have to file like an extra document, and I don't know. I'm just like, let me just get my little 600. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Let me.
Just
So
just
you have to know how the estate falls. So if you have like I'm thinking of a house now that I'm trying to figure out in Denton is the homeowner died, but she left it to her three siblings because she didn't have any kids. She didn't leave it to them. There's no will, but
okay,
the her three siblings are alive. But in that process of that year, her sister passed away as well. So now her brothers are alive,
okay,
but her sister that passed away second has four children that they
yeah,
have to hire an ad litem to verify that they still are where they're at.
right,
So it's taken almost 2.5 years,
wow.
and that's the case where the attorney charged a flat fee. They paid it. Now they have to get more to continue the
More work.
process.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and even representing because I did take a case and I had to actually get off of it. I did take a case when that was we were applying for a determination of heirship, and what happened is I remember even the judge told me he was like that's what you get for believing your clients because I asked the client I'm like is everybody in agreement? Are we all on board to go through the process? And her dad had died and she was living with her dad, taking care of her dad, and her other sibling, they were married or either had their own home, so they were okay with it. So they signed waivers, but she had a brother that passed, and he had two girls,
Mm,
but I think they were, and then they had two different mothers, and so the thing about ultimately what stuff happens is if there's drama in the family, it's gonna be drama at this time. So it's just
yeah,
these are
more.
just one of the issues where all the drama. So anyway, so one of the nieces basically attacked or do something, and she requested counsel, and I'm like, man, they do not appoint free counsel in probate court.
Yeah,
But so it was. I mean, I had some other stuff that I had to attend to, so I was able to get off that case. But I was like, and I charged, I think, a flat fee, and I was like, I spent more money on that case than I actually made. Again, I need to do an hourly rate. This is crazy. So because it's one of those things. It's the difference between litigation and just okay, like especially like for example, a probate and a will. Probate and will, if it's straightforward, then okay, here's my like yeah, we do what you need to file, go through the process, have your hearing, everybody going about your day. But when people want to contest, and you got people that's no, that's a whole nother ball game, and so
yeah. No, that's when the fees go up. But
mhm,
I thought originally too that ad litem was just for minors because the very first house I dealt with was
mhm,
the mother passed away. The father died years before.
mhm.
The mother passed away, and the grandparents were trying to sell the property.
Okay,
It was reversed in this case,
okay,
but
so
the grandkids were alive, but
okay,
they were 15 and 16. They had
okay,
to wait. They had to wait the whole um, time until they became adults at 18, 17, probably in Texas, to actually sell that property. And the judge still made them do a uh, administration with bond, and then they had to do put the money into a trust or something.
Right. Yeah,
So the money from the house. And then during that whole time, somebody moved into that property in Arlington,
man.
and they started paying taxes on it, thinking they could claim the house.
Wow.
So it took a year to get them evicted. Once all that, it kind of worked all in the same. We actually bought the house, so we evicted
Okay.
them after the fact. But
Okay.
it took like 6 months additionally after we bought it to get them out of
Wow.
the house.
Yeah, it's a
It
sticky.
was a mess.
Yes. Well, and that's why I try to encourage, because I also do wills and doing a little bit of trust as well. But if it's that's what I keep trying to stress to people. If we plan, then we would have all this set up. And not saying that people won't try to contest it. If we plan and designate, or because there's also another way you can do what is called a beneficiary. Well, in Missouri call it beneficiary deed, but here they call transfer a time transfer on death deed, where you can already designate who you want to have the house. I mean, large amount of most of our states, or at least the cases that I've been handling, is the house. That's where the most of the wealth is in the house. So no, so the ad line. I'm sorry, now you had asked me this earlier, but the ad line, at least what I signed up for, is in regards to probate court, is for unknown heirs. So, and if you think about it in a way, it's almost like I'm representing the deceased person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, this person is gone, so obviously they can, no longer, they didn't leave a will, so we don't know, their wishes. So we're just them kind of, they almost become like an entity. And I'm trying to at least make sure that, okay, everybody that are beneficiaries, that are heirs of this estate, need to be notified that, hey, so and so's filing something, they're trying to get, you at least need to know, do you want to contest, or not want to contest? But it's my job just to make sure that we have notified everybody. And so that's really what it goes to, the extent of my just making sure I find them. And then, but what's helpful in probate court, it's really helpful, is because we have the applicant's attorney. And so a
Right.
lot of times I ask them for information, because I'm like, well, you're the one that brought the case, so you should have been already asking these documents from your client anyway. So like the death certificate.
Build the file.
Then they
Yeah.
also have, the two witness. You're supposed to be two interested witnesses. I talked to the actual applicant, and I talked to any heirs that they've already listed in their application, and just verifies information. I did have a case one time. The gentleman was single, and no spouse and no kids, but they had only listed his mother. I think they only listed his mother as an heir, and so I got to looking, and so there's a whole chart, and so and let me
Right.
try to.
Explain that a little bit. So how does the
Okay.
chart work? Go for
So
it.
uh, so the thing is, if we don't designate anyone, the state already has their plan for everybody. Now, of course, I don't have it memorized, so I'm not, and I wish I could pull it up, but I don't have it memorized. So they already have determined who's going to get what when you pass, and it's like well, let me just use this for example. But because the gentleman, sorry, let me back up. Like I say, a married couple. This is Texas, a community property state. So a married couple, generally, if one spouse passes, the other spouse takes that what they inherit from their spouse. Now, the sticky issue is if they have kids, both them together, that they're both their kids, then that's how it works. Now, if either spouse have kids outside of the marriage, then they're sharing that portion with those kids.
Yeah. So they get 25%. I closed the house like that. So
Yeah, and so I don't think people think, oh, we'll be married. No, you and those kids that hopefully you like them. Some of you may not like. So that's saying that we can put those things in order. So
hopefully
in
they're
this,
talking to you.
right. So that's a whole nother situation. So, but in this instance, because the gentleman he wasn't married, so we couldn't. His property didn't automatically pass to his wife. He didn't have kids, so they didn't go to them. So it went to his siblings. Now, the thing is, he had a brother that had already passed, similar to what you were just talking about earlier. He had a brother already
Mm.
passed, but that brother had about 3 kids. And
Oh,
so, yeah, so when I did my report, and what I do, I told, because that's also in this group that I'm in, they were like, oh, I think it's good courtesy, because I think I had somebody do that to me. I had filed a case, and the attorney just made some stuff, and I'm like, you couldn't give me a courtesy call and let me know that my
Yeah.
stuff was wrong, so I at least had the chance to. I don't know, it just felt kind of, and so that's what they're saying. It's like, give a courtesy, contact the attorney, let them know, hey, this is what I found out. You might want to amend your. And so that's what I notified them. I was like, oh, by the way, technically these other three nieces and nephews should be added, so it's not just the mother, it's the mother and three other people. So,
I bet they
so
love to
when I
hear that.
yeah, it's funny. Well, I mean, I don't, and to think about it, I got it from the client, the applicant. So I'm like, are you talking to your client? I don't even understand. Anyway, but he gave me the names, addresses, and everything else. So and I just contacted them. But of course, he got them to sign waivers, so that helped a whole lot. But
Is
no,
there
that
a time frame that you get? Like if you're assigned a case, is there a time frame that you have to operate in?
no, and I think that's probably part of the part of the delay. And then I can't speak for other counties. I can't speak for other states. But Dallas County is, I think, because they're so heavily or backed
Takes
up.
a long time.
It just depends. But I try to make it my business to get on it really quick. Like I mentioned earlier, I got on two. I'm in court. Sorry, I'm talking about Dallas County. I'm in courtroom 3 and courtroom 1, but I also was like, okay, Dallas. There's the regular district court of Dallas. I'm like, maybe I can get on some of those other wheels.
Yeah.
So I got on a wheel that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to stay on this wheel. I may need to get off. It's the tax wheel, and the lady warned me, so I should know better. Because I think she says that I don't get paid until they actually pay the taxes.
Oh
Like,
boy, that's
so
not good.
it was like, and she made it sound like if you get paid. I'm like, oh my god. So that may actually be charity. I'm not sure, but but since I got on that, I want to say this summer or earlier, I've already been put on 4 cases, and I'm like,
Wow. Okay.
so of course they don't pay a lot. Yeah, they don't pay a lot. But the thing is,
You run your own office now, right?
I do. So I mean, I guess it's one of those things where I'm like, well, maybe having volume will help. But then yeah, so like I said, I've used the family search and some of those free, just using the internet, those free, maybe trying to track down the phone number.
Yeah.
What I was able to find somebody. I ended up finding the husband. It was crazy. There's a lady that passed. She had a property. Sorry, let me back up because this is a real, just interesting one. It's not just a relative going and filing. It was the debtor. This lady
Oh.
has got a condo, and the debtor basically opened up the collector or creditor opened up a estate case on this lady, and of course they only had one of the sisters, and I found like 4 or 5 other people. I'm like, oh my goodness. But no, but that's one of the first ones I've had where it's the actual creditors like, okay, we want our money, I guess. So the lady passed in Minnesota, and
Mm.
I talked to her half sister, and she was like, well, it's actually we got 3 other brothers, and one of the brothers died, and he's got 4 kids, and so
Oh.
I tracked down the wife of the deceased brother and found her new husband who's an attorney, and I was like, oh god, thank you, maybe he can help me. So he's said he's representing the 3 kids, and even calling his office and the receptionist, and she was like taking the information down, and she was like, well, he'll call you and he'll definitely be able to let you know this is his wife. So we even had to get on the phone. I pulled it up, so he's like, yeah, because I was like, I don't know if this is a scam, because think about it, I'm just calling people out the blue. They don't know who I am and what I'm selling. So, and I'm just
Yeah,
thinking,
for us it takes I always give it like 3 or 4 months from the time I reach out to somebody for them to kind of trust me.
right, right. It's like,
And
okay,
then like
look,
I'm dealing with 3 sisters right now on a property, and I finally got a hold of the one of the sisters, and I was like, "Look, I have no favoritism. I just need to talk to everybody.
right, right,
I want to maybe purchase the property, but I need to help you guys get the title clean."
right.
And you got to just kid gloves all the way through because it's like the trust factor is I get it because I get lots of calls myself. So
Yes, yeah. Well,
and
no, and
then
that's the thing, and I had to explain, and then that's why I felt good that I was like, okay, here's a lawyer. He at least have maybe some idea of what that is. But even when I talk to people, different ones, I say, and even when I leave messages, I say I'm retired on the Litem, they're appointed by the court, and my job is to find heirs, making sure we're not leaving anybody out. There's no Billy Bob we don't like, and we done left him off off the filing. So just making sure we covered and got everybody. But I
and
think a
you
lot
have
of people
this.
think I work for the court, and I'm like, not technically.
That's a good statement to say because a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah,
Like you're independent. You're trying to build your business, and
right,
this is just another avenue for you to make some fees, I guess. Yeah,
right, right. Yeah,
and to get in front of a lot of people because if you got your own probate case, you could just fly through it and get. You're going to get those questions out as you
right,
go.
right.
So you're like, all right, now I'm going to charge you double because I got to do all this work. I get it.
Yeah.
It's in our business. It's always the one that wants a discount commission that is the turns out to be the hardest sale.
And that's what I've noticed because I'm also I'm doing on some prepaid. I'm like in the attorney network for some prepaid plans. I don't know if you heard of Texas Legal, and
Yeah,
Legal
legal
Shield.
aid. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a prepaid, little like legal insurance. And I'm almost wishing more people would sign up. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, like, so they have a fee schedule, and so there's certain things that they do, and there's where they're already going to pay me, so I know I'm going to get paid. Um, so that's one avenue as well. But
do you want to take on your own probate cases? Like be I guess it's called the applicant, right? Or you're the applicant,
right,
or
right,
no, or the
yeah.
attorney,
So
I guess.
I have one a lady is probating a will just before the 4 years. Like her husband had been passed July
Hmm.
21st, 2021, or yeah, 2021. And so she was like, I'm coming up on the deadline. Like, people don't even know that I mean, there's still some things you can do, but generally you're supposed to file these things within 4 years after someone's passed. And so, but I met her because I'm helping like a in-law of hers through in Tarrant County because of a tax case he got going on. It's a whole situation. That's a whole situation.
That's
He's
fine.
like, his property came up. Well, it's the property of his stepdad, but him and his birth mother bought it, and her name's on the deed with his stepdad. Of course, the birth mother passed, and then his stepdad remarried. It's a gold digger. So she wasn't, he got sick, and my client was taking care of, moved back in, taking care of the stepdad, but the wife had left. So now these taxes are coming up. Of course, I guess he didn't have the money paid. He let it get behind. So anyway, she gets an attorney, and they pay it. There's like this program. I don't know, the program or just some company that pays it, and so of course they want the house sold so everybody can get paid, recoup. Of course, the house is more than what they paid in taxes. But anyway, so I come in on the tail end. He was doing pro se, and so he lets me know he has a will. I'm like, you have a will? Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't even understand. I'm like, well, this will needs to be probated. He was like, well, it's been over 4 years. I'm like, well, it's worth a try. We need to at least try. I'm like, you have a will stating that you are the heir of this house. You're written. The ex-wife is not in it. Her name's not. She's not a beneficiary. So what are we talking about?
That's
So
right.
trying to help him, but in the process of helping him, one of his in-laws was like, well, can you help me with my will? That's kind of part of,
Mm,
like, sometimes I gotta get out there and people see what you're doing. They're like, oh, okay, you look like you know what you're doing. Can you help me? So
Yeah, because people are lost. I mean, everybody I talk to, they don't know where to start, or they
yeah,
never do start with the will.
yeah,
It's just now that the parents are aging and passing away, they have to deal with their
right.
being assigned executor in most cases, and yeah, there's not really a path, and then who wants to talk to an attorney? Nobody, you know.
I feel so, and I don't don't even know how I can overcome it because I know it does historically. There's and even now you got a lot of shady people doing some horrible stuff, and people have told me their horror stories how they'll be paying people to do stuff and what they were paying for didn't get done, or they'll come back
Yeah,
and it was a totally like a bad outcome and they hadn't kept them, informed. And then those are part of our ethics. You're supposed to keep your clients informed. You need to let them know. You need to make, that's even with me. I don't even make deals without my clients because I don't want nobody coming back
yeah.
saying that, well, you made this deal and you didn't ask me. And,
That's the biggest thing I find is that a lot of the PRs, it takes 4 months in Terry County and sometimes 10 months in Dallas
okay.
County to get through probate. So there's a lot of room in there not to lose communication with the attorney.
Right.
And I get it. I mean, you have to make a living. You probably have to have 30 cases going or as much as you can.
Yeah. Thank God
And
for the husband. Thank God.
yeah, I mean, any one time I have to have about 8 to 10 houses listed to make a good living. And because you never know if it's going to sell or not, or you have to
Yeah.
invest here to make more leads, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a struggle. So it's
Yeah.
good that you're taking on stuff like that to learn.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. Now I'm just
Um,
track down heirs.
yeah, exactly. So back to that story of that lady I met, we had to track down a guy that had he was a life estate for a mobile
Okay.
home.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the probate was filed and the will was there and the life estate was there, but we couldn't find the gentleman that was the life estate because he had a stroke,
Okay.
and his new girlfriend moved him into her house down in
Oh,
Cleveland. So no
okay.
address.
Oh
I
wow.
just I randomly found a post on Facebook of the new girlfriend with the
Okay.
picture of the dude.
Okay.
And then I went and door knocked their house, so I gave it to the ad litem, and they figured it. Well, we
Wow.
we signed a deed, and then I turned everything over so that we could buy the house. But it was
Wow.
fun.
No,
You gotta do
it
what you
is.
gotta do.
Yeah, it's almost like I guess an excitement. I don't know, this murder she wrote kind of situation where it's like the best case, especially when you find what you've been looking for. I think when I found that attorney, the husband, and I'm like, and he was the husband, and then he gave me. I was like, oh, I'm like,
Yeah,
I've been looking for this lady.
I
So
got a good one. I may refer to you. I don't know if they found any help yet, but the gentleman owned two parcels of land in
okay,
Dallas.
uh huh,
And but two people moved, like one guy's camping on the property on one of them, and then another guy moved in and started a mechanic shop on one of them. So he has like, I think I counted 18 wheelers,
wow,
and he has no business being there. They just know the guy passed away, so they took advantage and moved in.
yes,
So now the family's in Houston trying to figure out
what to do?
the estate, and I don't
Okay,
even think they filed probate yet. So I'll see if I'll see if they found anybody. I told them I could help them, but I listed options. I didn't hear from them yet,
right,
so it
right.
may be too expensive for them.
Yeah, I guess you got to weigh out, what's the amount of, what's the state even worth, and is it
Yeah.
worth the money of filing and getting it done?
So how many cases are you working now for being an ad litem?
Ad litem. How many do I have? I feel like I have at least. Uh, that's what I'm saying, the thing is, I don't want to get too many where I'm like, oh, I don't even, because
It's
I have.
like BPOs for us. So we can make anywhere from 200 to I think maybe $500 to go and value a property.
Oh, okay.
Some some companies want you to like do it in 24 hours, or
Oh,
some give you like 3 days or a week to do it, and
yeah.
then you'll go to the property, and there may be a tenant in there, there may be a squatter,
Okay.
and you can't get into the property, so you got to make several phone calls. You got to,
Right.
but it pays. It's a good thing for. It's a good. It's a good thing for. I don't know if you can hear my kids. They're making a lot of
Okay.
noise. We got home. Do this at the house.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think I probably have about maybe 7 or so, probably through Dallas County. But like I said, I got those 4 through this text, so those are making me a little nervous.
Yeah.
Just like, because I don't, I never want to get in front of a court and be like, I don't have anything. You're like, I can't find them. Like, then I guess that's the thing. Is like, what do people? I had to figure that out. Like, what do you do when you say you really can't find anybody?
Yeah,
Uh,
or they may have passed away. Then you have to keep digging, right? So I
yeah,
always explain to people that it trickles down first and then it goes wide. So
right,
you have to look for all the kids that may be heirs.
right,
But then when there's a wife or an ex-wife with another kid, there's just it's just better to have a will at the end of the day. But
right. Well, like I said,
um,
I've been using Family Search, and I know I guess there's probably some paid things as well. But yeah, you can find out because I found some people like with their enlistment, I think documents or their birthday,
wow,
like records of people's birthday, of course marriages, and so I know the marriage index for Dallas County. So just trying to find those different leads. Of course, I start sometimes with the even looking on the Dallas County property tax, and you can just see the history, and then of course I use go through looking through the deeds and finding out okay whose
that's
name.
really good.
Yeah, was there a transfer? Because this one I'm trying to find somebody, and I was seeing. I'm looking for the release deed, so not just the initial deed, because then it was like it was sold, and then I was like, well, but who did they send the release to, and whose name was
Yeah,
it? And so I'm like doing all this crap, but that's the
it's
thing
too
that
bad you can't charge by the hour. It'd be like,
I know, because I'm like, I'll look it up, like I've spent so much time, and that's the thing, I'll spend time, and I'm like, I still haven't found the person, so I'm like, we're going to figure this out. This is taking up too much time. Taking up too much
yeah.
time.
At least you're getting the experience doing that. It's amazing.
Right.
It's like nobody can ever take. That's what I want to explain to my boys, and what I enjoy about being a realtor is there's so many things that I've ran into that just it just by far gives you that experience level that it's
Right.
just amazing.
Well, and then the
Uh,
stuff that's even out there, that's public information. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that can be scary, whether people think it or not. But even because I found out, me and my family found out last year that my great uncle was a Medal of Honor recipient. He died in World War II, and a lot of that stuff we found on Ancestry.com and
Wow.
FamilySearch.org. So me finding those documents, I'm like, okay, then I can look up some information, and then even finding out the census, finding at least the fact that when they say who's in the house and they wrote it down, but then of course they stop at a certain time. But it's just different things where it's like, okay, that gives clues that okay, these records, if depending on the age and when they got married, and that's the thing. One of my cases is an older couple, and so I'm trying to find their like a marriage license, an obituary, or something. Get some indication because using an obituary, they'll tell you, and so and so leaves these kids and their spouses. So no, there's some information out
Yeah,
there.
most of the title companies use the obituary
Okay.
to clear the title if there's an issue.
Right. Okay.
So it kind of lays out who's in there.
Right.
And oh my gosh, when there's 8 names in there, you're like, oh, we're not going to close this anytime soon.
Yeah. So I guess titles companies they use a lot of more of the affidavit of heirship.
Yep.
Yeah, I did have
Is
oh, good.
is that something that you draft as well as an attorney?
I draft those as well. There was a young lady. And that's sometimes what it is. She lives out of town. Usually the kids are living out of town, and my dad left me a piece of property in Texas, and I think she had an issue. She was having somebody mow it, but somebody next door was building a house, and it looks like they were kind of encroaching. And so that she was like, should I get a fence? And what should I do? The thing is, she hadn't done anything in regards to the title because I guess she was wanting to sell it. And I was like, well, because that's the other thing too is, when it comes to affidavit of heirship, you want to make sure that it's something that the title company will be willing to give a title policy on. So it's almost like making sure they're okay with it because it's something. Yes, I can whip up something based on whatever standards, but will a title company be okay with that to issue a policy? So um, I contacted one of their counsel for the title company and kind of let me know what he kind of looked at it. But no, it is very interesting. But I guess going back to, like I said, I know attorneys have a bad rap, but I
Yeah,
don't know. I guess
not
I feel
really,
like,
but
well, and maybe that's part of the. I'm like, I'm trying to. I wish there was a way to, because I feel like people wait until they're in. Like I've
yes,
had people come to me after. I've had someone come to me and they had already foreclosed. They already foreclosed on their house, and she's like, "What can we do?" And I'm like, "Why do you should have called me when you got the notice?" She was like, "Yeah, we were." I was like, "So what did happen?" Yeah, we were doing the, what's called trying to make the adjustments. When you're kind of working with
yeah, the modification, the loan modification.
modification. I guess she was going through that, and I guess they just was like, "Look, we we done gave you enough time. It's time to put this up for sale." And so I'm looking. I'm like, "Okay, you got notice, and there's nothing wrong with the notice."
People wait.
And I know, and that's the thing is, but they come to us, and just like the other situation, you come to us when the house is already on fire, and it's like, I'm not a fireman, so
Yeah,
but I get it. I mean, I think that's people's reaction. But the thing is, like, had you maybe come and like I told the young lady, had you come to me when you first was getting the notice, I maybe could have got a deal because she was saying that she had been working with them, and then all of a sudden they just went ahead and decided to foreclose. I'm like, well, actually, they had already decided to foreclose. They were just giving you time to, and
they're just giving you time.
giving you
And a
time.
lot of
But my
times they
thing is
don't
like,
even.
had you engaged an attorney, maybe I could have, made an agreement. We would got it in writing and got it signed, and then that would have been the new arrangement, and then you could hold them to that new arrangement. Because this is just you talking to so and so. Oh, we emailed back and forth, or we just on the phone. Then you don't have anything, no firm agreement. So they were like, well, we need to sell this house.
Yeah, people. I got away from working people in foreclosure because they
Okay.
wait to the last week to make a decision, and
Yeah.
then expect you to like find you a buyer or we buy it, and then they got. It takes at least probably 21 days to get the statement to pay it off,
Oh
or
wow.
the back payments or
Oh,
the
the
attorney
bank.
fees they attach to it. It
Yeah.
gets pretty steep pretty fast.
Yeah.
So, what's some advice for some people that? Uh, the one thing I was thinking about asking is, do attorneys ever hire you to do the ad litem work if they know it's coming to speed up the process? I guess
I haven't had any. No, not in that regard. Uh,
like hire you as an investigator. I guess like a PI basically.
no.
That's something that if there's a house attached that I could try to buy, let me know. I'll help you.
Oh, okay.
Or just for experience wise too. I mean,
Yeah.
I use Been Verified and what is it, Spokio sometimes.
Oh,
And
okay.
then what is I was trying to think of the other one. It's Skip Matrix. Write that one down.
Skip Matrix. Okay.
I think they want a bigger database though. They're really like a bigger search portal.
Okay.
But I've used them to get because they Skip Matrix. If I buy a list of leads and I want to find other family members,
Yeah.
it'll give me like 8 different phone numbers to call.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
I don't know who I'm calling. I just have to leave voicemails
Right.
and
Somebody called.
sometimes people call back, some people don't. It takes a while, like I said.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
when you find someone, do you just send a notice out to them in the mail, or do you try to call them, or
Oh,
both?
yes. I haven't mailed anybody in particular. I try to get emails. That's that's try to get emails and send them like a notice or like even with these things, I'll probably try to point them to the court, the website. But no, I'll probably send them an email as
Because you
well.
get in the weeds with the family, actually, right? How do you not step on the toes of the attorney being their rep? Or
So yes, and there is a dice, and I have to be careful about that because there was the one I had. And that's the thing, people get on the phone and then they start asking you questions. You're like, well, hey, I'm, I'm not your attorney. But I
yeah,
do try to at least give them, because they were like, well, what's happening next? What's going on next? And I was like, this next step is your attorney needs to go and, actually contact the court to get a hearing. So I'm like,
yes.
at least let them know what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing, and my job is to, once I get the information, I file the report, file it with the court, and then your attorney, goes the next step. And so I'm like, so you'll probably see me at the hearing, uh, but some of them you'll hear where they're like, either, mad about their, they'll complain about their attorney, or they'll, where I've had to find some people. So, but I refer them back to their attorney to tell them, yeah, contact your attorney.
Yeah, that's probably safe
Yeah.
it's real easy if you're talking to somebody and they find out you're a licensed attorney and they're like, yeah, I want some free advice.
Right,
And then
right.
their other attorneys charging them $250 an hour or something like that to
But and
answer
that's the thing
questions.
too, is I'm like, especially when you get to the end, and I'm like, and I know this attorney's probably making a killing, and I'm getting my little $600 check.
Yeah,
But I think even with
I'll help
the,
you build up some referrals.
but
Yeah,
even in my relationship, because some I do talk to the attorney, and that's also why I request documents from them, and even like they'll send me the proofs of the drafts of what they're going to file. They're like, "Oh, you're okay with this," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, go ahead."
that's
I'll look
cool.
at them, and yeah, and I'll go ahead and tell them, "Hey, you might want to change this," and that's why I give them the courtesy call. So that's the thing too. That's the way of me also building relationships. So say it's something that, hey, I can't take on this case. Maybe somebody is coming here. Would you like to be able to do it? I mean, that's the hope, is that as I'm you know being good, having giving everybody basically a good experience, that they'll refer me.
Yep,
Like, see, here's
that's
some.
just it. I mean, the more people you contact, the more people you meet. So
Right.
do you ever have to? So you, I guess you could do Zoom meetings with the hearings, or do you actually have to go to the courthouse?
They've been with probate. They've been Zooms. Now
That's
this
good.
tax docket I've gotten on, I think they're in person, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you talk to me again, I may not be on there. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Because I'm like,
That's
if I
funny.
had to drive down there every time, just so. But thankfully, I don't live too far from downtown, so we'll
That's
see.
good.
We'll see how that
Well,
works.
hopefully this interview will get you some business, and yeah, I'm gonna need to get you busy on some other case.
Well, I'm gonna need some help finding some people. Like I said, I got at least 4 cases. I need to find.
Yeah, let's throw me one, and let's see what we can do.
Okay.
I got a secret weapon. His name's Dennis, and
Okay.
he knows how to dig in the weeds too of the internet.
Okay.
If you could do most of this work from the house, that's beneficial.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's the thing too. And like I said, I really can't complain. My overhead is super low, so
Yeah, yeah. So if you could do that and then just make phone calls and get the reports to the court,
yeah.
that most of the time I got to run and meet somebody or find somebody in person
Oh
to sign
wow.
the deed.
Oh okay.
There's a chance I'm waiting on those three sisters to call me, but there's a chance I have to go to California to get a
Uh,
notary sign.
they don't have
So
virtual notaries.
we'll try that first, but if it
Okay.
doesn't work,
You may have to.
um, yeah,
Well, I guess it was with a business expense. You can deduct it.
yeah, take my family out to California a little bit.
Well, hey, we got a business trip.
Go to Hollywood. Just kidding.
Yeah, we make it work. We make it work.
So, any last words? Usually keep this about an hour. So, any last words or advice for people that need, or let's say they have an ad litem. What can, because they're waiting to talk to the person, or they're like, I have one right now. The house, the gentleman died with no kids,
Okay.
but the court still assigned ad litem to, because the parents are inheriting the house now,
Okay.
or the proceeds. So I guess they wanted to just make sure that there was no heirs or adopted kids or a wife. So they signed an ad litem just to make sure.
Just to make sure. So what they can do is talk to their attorney, and just maybe, and they can do is do like a courtesy, depending on the attorney. But that's the thing. The attorney can kind of send out a nice letter, just, hey, just checking in, just making sure. The more helpful that the attorney for the client is, because that's the thing. If you provide all the information, let them know, hey, we've already checked. There's nobody out there. The thing is to help make their lives easier. Now, another thing I've noticed is that, and that's what the court has done sometimes. There's, like you were saying before, there's ad litems that just like I guess because they're not making a whole lot of money. They just totally either forgot about the case or just off
Yeah.
somewhere. And I don't even know that the court. I don't even know that they've actually contacted the court. It's just the court maybe at some point was like, okay, these people are not responding, and they just appoint someone new. So the attorney just may need to follow up if it's taking a long time. But one way to kind of help, it's like a nice way of kind of pushing things along is like try to up front provide as much information to that ad litem so they won't have to do as much work. And so you kind of let them know, hey, I've kind of served everything up for you on a platter. If this will help with your report.
Yeah, because you're just verifying. Yeah.
Right, and
Or
that's all. That's They're just verifying, and so, but that's the thing. So that's it's up to that attorney to, if you do all the legwork and just help them. So like hey, whatever we can do to get this this report file, then that means hey, then we've overcome this hurdle. Now we can move to the next one. But if you reach out and they seem to be non-responsive, then maybe you can maybe nudge the court and see if you can get a new ad litem assigned.
yeah, that'd be tragic if you just didn't hear from the people that are. Yeah,
That's
that'd be tragic. But I
right.
guess it does happen.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because people get on a list, and there's some people that's probably been on there for years. I don't know that anybody actually goes and say, "Take me off the list," per se. You know what I'm saying? It's just you maybe have people started out sometime that got on a list and just been on there for years, and going off doing some other stuff, and just haven't been paying attention because they email you. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Dallas County, they email you. Do they? I don't think they send anything in the mail. But this tax court, they'll mail you something, which I'm like, so we don't do email. Uh, so it's one of those things where it could just get lost in your email. You've been emailed, notified by the court, and you're like, I didn't know I was appointed.
Yeah. I'm trying to be appointed. At least I'm starting Terra County to be on
Okay.
receiverships.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, then
Yeah.
that's the thing. Part of it is once you get in there, then you can start meeting all the different people that are involved.
Same with you. Yeah.
Right.
If you're meeting all these, if I was an attorney and I saw an ad litem that was aggressive or at least
Mhm.
willing to, I mean, you're more or less volunteering your time.
Right.
You're not making a bunch of money, but you're building a business in the long run. I
Right.
think so. I think
Yeah.
it's solid, solid
Right.
experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get your PI license too, and you go after the cheaters then. Just kidding.
No, but I was thinking when we were doing those subpoenas, I was like, this is a nice little gig. I mean, you get
Yeah,
to serve somebody. You walk up, hey, you so and so, have them serve, and go back to your business. And then of course I'm
yeah,
assuming you can write off the travel time. I don't know, but I mean, it's considering the fees that we was paying. I'm sure they're making quite a bit of money.
yeah. You can rack up quite a bit. Like, do one every other day or something
Right, right.
once you find them. That's cool though. I'm glad I finally got to meet a. You're an attorney, but you're ad litem as well, so that's cool. Nice. Okay. Huh. So you're. So tell the audience, so where can we find you? Do you have a website or social media? Nice. Perfect. Well, I hired a podcast company to help me promote these, so I'll share it with you as soon as I get it edited, and they're gonna put it on. They're gonna put it everywhere, so you're gonna get some business. Yeah. So you do, just to cover it again, you do probate, you do affidavits, motions for monument. I say monument of title, but it's monument of title, monument, something like that. Monument. I just do something like that. Yeah, nice. Well, that's good to know because I see more often than anything on Facebook people asking for a real estate attorney, and it's you don't come across them too much. They're usually hidden behind title companies, so you don't ever talk to the attorney. And yeah, that's cool. So you can do contracts or amendments. Yeah, that's cool. Yes, yep, that's cool. People you never run into or know. Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate you reaching out and being on here. You're my fifth attorney that I interviewed, so this is fun. Thank you, man. Thank you. Any last advice that you have just people out in the YouTube world or Apple Podcast. Some like ounces of non. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's a good way to end the podcast. That's perfect. Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to referring business to you. And if you ever need help looking for somebody, I'm going to probably refer Stephanie to you. I'm going to reach out now after this and call her and see if they figured out a direction because I think you would probably be perfect for them. So it's the one with the two parcels. They're 2 acres each, and you don't really have to worry about the eviction, but you will. They just need to get the title in their name. So there's something funny going on with the title. So it'd be fun for you to learn that or help. Or help. Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I look forward to working with you. Bye bye.